We understand precisely the narrative of how emotional coldness in love develops. We begin brimming with mutual affection. Then, gradually, those feelings fade. We start to prioritize work. We glance at our phones during conversations. We cease to care about the details of each other's day. A common, superficial reason for this chill exists. People naturally grow bored of one another, just as they do with other objects, a once-cherished toy, a beloved film. In this version, growing cold is merely familiarity's unavoidable result. Yet another explanation exists, initially seeming darker, yet finally more hopeful. This fading of interest is neither natural nor fated. The boredom is more complex and deliberate. It stems from feeling hurt by, angry with, or scared of our partner, and from finding no cathartic way to express this to them or ourselves. Withdrawing is not inevitable. It is a sign of festering emotional pain, a survival tactic. We are numb inside, not merely somewhat bored. This might seem odd, but we may not even recognize how our partner has hurt, upset, or frightened us. The notion could appear absurd or extreme. It casts our partners as monsters and us as weak, yet neither is accurate. However, the loving self within a relationship is not the normal, adult self from life's other spheres. While generally resourceful and resilient, the person who loves is an infinitely more vulnerable entity. We ought to picture as a smaller, younger, far more defenseless version of ourselves residing in our minds, no tougher or wiser than we were as infants. When so many needs and ideas of love were cemented, it is this vulnerable self that still directs our hearts, even if we stand 6 feet 2 inches with sharp beard. The loving self possesses a paper-thin ego. It is wounded, scared, and upset with desperate ease. You can profoundly unsettle it by interrupting its story about a lunchtime sandwich, by insufficiently inquiring about a small spot on its arm yesterday, by choosing a book over cuddling, or by quarreling over the TV channel. Naturally, these are mere trifles to regular adults, but we do not love as adults. These tiny arrows suffice to injure the loving self at its tender, emotional heart. Ideally, the small self would instantly speak up about what occurred. It will meticulously explain its frustration and hurt. Its tone will be fitting, defensive, and charming. But usually it remains silent. This is pardonable. It doesn't fully grasp the situation. It only knows it aches, and a primal instinct compels it to retreat and self-protect, resulting in behavior that appears quite cold. If the adult self had to articulate the loving self's anger, it could seem and feel absurd. This is partly why it remains silent. There is particular humiliation in stating, "I feel you didn't care enough about my lunch details," or "I'm 45 yet cannot share a TV remote." These are truly petty matters for an adult to fixate on, but our vulnerable parts in love do not follow standard adult rules. The result is a desiccated loving self. It loses interest in sex. It turns sarcastic and irritable, yet doesn't even know why. It is irrelevant. It is bewildered. To manage this, we require marked mutual awareness and forgiveness for this dynamic of sensitivity and anguish, plus a commitment to decoding it when detachment and apathy arise. We must forge a space where so-called minor, love-consuming grievances can be vented safely without the other person, as they so readily do, dismissing concerns as childish or imaginary. The loving self-sensitivity seems absurd compared to the sturdier metrics of everyday life. But this is not everyday life. When we turn cold, we may not truly have lost interest in our partners. We might just need the chance to see we are, quietly, genuinely quite hurt and angry with them. And we deserve a safe haven where our delicate yet vital feelings can be expressed, cleansed, and understood free from any humiliation.